that Earth was going to be destroyed, and our only grim consolation was that there was nothing we could do to stop it. The neutron star collided, and millions of years of our history got wiped out in an instant. That's why they developed the Rebirth Project. Everyone on Earth fighting for survival, and a lottery among the fittest to see who gets to live thousands of light years away. I won, and that's why I'm here on this Ark ship. I'm a pioneer, one of millions, and our job will be to rebuild civilization in this new solar system. I've been frozen for the entirety of the trip, and now I'm ready to embark on my journey. Our journey.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Borak here, and today I'll be taking a stupid microphone. Sorry. I'll be taking a look at the Dual Universe beta. I have been part of Dual Universe since it went on Kickstarter a long time ago. And I've played it off and on, just haven't really recently played it. But today I figured I'd give it a shot. So you can either choose male or female. I'll leave it at that. Interesting. That's actually pretty dang cool. Dual Universe. So, for those who do not know what Dual Universe is, it is essentially a single server slash whatever what they call it is a single shard universe where thousands, tens of thousands of players are simultaneously in the same on the same server, and what they've done is actually really damn impressive. They've had in their alpha, I think the most they had was a couple thousand on one game with very little performance issues. It was pretty cool. And all of these ships that you see on the screen here, custom made by players and possibly some of the developers. So, like I said, it has been a very long time, close to this time last year, 2019, pre-pandemic, as one may call it, since I last loaded in on this. But I will pause it here because it will take a little bit for people to, or for me to load in, seeing as the beta launch today, I believe. So I'll see you in just a moment.
Welcome to Allioth.
Or not. Never mind.
I'm Ophelia, the ArcShip AI. I will assist you in your first steps, seeing as you just woke up from an extended cryosleep period. Keep an eye on the chat window in the lower left part of the screen. It contains a transcript of what I say, with important information about which keys
Howdy,
to press.
person.
There is a button near the window that you can use at any time to replay this tutorial in the future. I have marked it with a green waypoint. You can also abort the tutorial by pressing the abort key at any time, but this is not recommended. You have much to learn after your long cryo sleep. To start with, let's make sure your motor skills are not affected. Simply head towards the green waypoint behind the stairs, using the movement keys.
Behind the stairs, you say.
Very good. Now, let's try the jump action. You are in perfect
Whoa.
shape. Great. Let's try your headlight, which is very useful in dark areas. Press that. Now, take your time to look at the world around you through the glass panes. This gigantic planet is all yours to conquer, as well as the many other planets in the system. You are free to shape
That
the
is
world as you
really
see fit.
cool.
Build an
All those
empire,
down there
explore
are
the vastness of
people
space,
or player
create a
made
trade
stuff.
federation or a pirate alliance, or live
Fair
secluded
enough.
on a forgotten moon.
Yeah, there is a
There are
map.
no rules here, except for the one you make for yourself.
Ooh,
When you
rules.
are ready,
That's
follow
cool.
the waypoint and look through the marked window. The buildings in front of you are one of the many district areas of Allioth. Districts contain all the facilities that you will need to begin your journey. In particular, they host institutes where various tutorials are located. We will get back to that later. Now, it's time to go and start preparing for your journey. Head downstairs and follow. Continue down and get close to the screen, marked with the green waypoint.
Okay. Some basic controls, WASD, jumping.
Let's begin by looking at your tools. Tools are located at the
Tools.
bottom of the screen in the form
Alright.
of quick access slots. You can select them with the quick
Oop.
access keys.
Freeze up.
As you can see, the last slot is currently empty. We will now learn how to equip a new tool in that place.
Alright.
Approach the highlighted tool dispenser. Dispensers are elements,
F.
which are objects you can deploy. Very good. The
Sorry.
dispenser just gave you a new tool that is now stored inside your inventory. The inventory
Inventory
contains
with
The
I.
inventory is a central interface for managing everything you carry around with you. It contains items like tools, materials,
Prepared.
elements, or blueprints. We will look into it in more detail through the various specialized tutorials. For now, locate the repair tool that was just given to you, and simply drag and drop it into the free slot. Well done. Note that the inventory does not have an infinite capacity. It is restricted
Okay.
in volume. Thanks to the nanopack technology, this volume is pretty huge, but still, better keep an eye on the size of objects you store. Now, simply close the inventory by pressing the close cross on the top right. Okay.
Getting a little ahead,
We
I'm
are
sorry.
now ready to continue downstairs. This time, we will need to use an elevator. Elevators are connected together via up and down links. Stepping onto an elevator and pressing the crouch key or the jump.
Woo!
Welcome to the main
That's a
room.
fast elevator.
You can get back anytime by stepping on the same elevator and pressing the jump key to go up. In front of you is a miniature reproduction of the ArcShip. You can perhaps see the real ArcShip through the windows in the distance. Let's try to also find it on the map. To open the map, press the map key.
Which is F4.
This is Allioth,
Or
the
M.
planet on which you currently stand. Each of these tiles is a territory you can claim.
That is really
Tiles in
cool.
red are already claimed. tiles in purple are non-claimable, and mostly
So
exist around
many
the arc ship.
tiles.
The arc
That's
ship
so
is
cool.
represented by a small icon in the center of the purple tiles area. At any time, you can center onto your position on the map by pressing the center icon on the top left. Try it now.
Top left.
You can also mark any place on the surface of the
yeah.
planet to create a waypoint. Waypoints are displayed in your HUD so that they are easy to track. To set a waypoint, simply right-click on a point on the map and select Set as Destination. Very good. There are still many areas on the map that you will learn to use over time. For example, the Selector area here allows you to list your constructs, review bookmarks, and see any available warp beacons or other points of interest. In the lower right corner, you can find a list of current objectives in a tutorial, usually with hints on how to
Simply
achieve
wait for
them.
her to be finished.
For now, let's just close. You
Alright.
may have seen on the map that certain territory tiles are claimed. To claim a tile, you must deploy a territory unit on the ground. Let's have a look at one. Follow the waypoint.
Waypoint.
As you can see, it's quite huge.
Yes.
Once a territory unit is deployed onto a tile, this tile belongs to you. It means you can start to build constructs on it. You can decide who
Constructs.
holds rights to dig the ground, and whom else can also build next to you. Territory units are quite expensive and will probably not be the first thing you deploy on Allioth. Instead, we have a much better way to let you grab a piece of land. Let's discover this now. Welcome to the observatory. From here, you should be able to see Allioth's moons in the sky. One of them is a very special moon, called the Sanctuary Moon.
See any of them.
We will explain what that means.
I
but
do see
first,
some on ship.
let's try to locate it. Let's open the map again by pressing the map key.
Yep.
The map also contains a solar system view.
System
Click
view.
on the system tab to open it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10 or 11.
Here you can see all the planets currently accessible in the system. Select Allioth. As you can see, Allioth has 3 moons. Excellent.
Sanctuary.
Good.
View
This twin
planet.
moon, just like Allioth or any other planet,
Dude,
is
this
also
place
covered
has
with
been
tiles that you can
taken
claim.
over.
A sanctuary moon is a moon where no combat will ever occur, as it is a safe zone.
Alright.
This means that every territory you claim will remain yours forever, and nobody can take your belongings or build anything there without your consent.
I might
This is
put
a
a base
great
on
way
here
to
somewhere.
create a safe haven to store your valuables and build your home. Getting to a sanctuary moon and claim a tile should be your first goal in Dual Universe.
Okay.
You can claim only one tile on a sanctuary moon, and you will need a special sanctuary territory unit for that purpose. Let's go and get one. It's free for all new Novians. Close the map window.
Wait for it. Okay.
Notice how the sanctuary twin moon is now identified by the waypoint in the sky. There is a shuttle service,
Ah, there it is,
which
right
we
there.
will introduce at the end of this tutorial, that can bring you there.
Okay.
Now, let's get fantastic.
Yay.
Now that you are equipped with your territory unit, let's get back to the rest. Now is the time to present the key pillar activities that are available for Novians. Each of these will be presented here quickly, and you will later be able to discover more about
I
them
really want to get
in
on with it and
their
learn for
dedicated
myself.
tutorials. Let's head to the mining station first.
But I do
Follow
need to
the
learn
waypoint
these.
towards the
Okay.
downstairs platform. Mining is one of the primary activities. This is how you acquire raw
Silver,
materials, if you don't simply buy them on the
iron.
markets. Those materials are located either on the planet's surface, or they can be buried kilometers deep underground. Surface materials have a low value, while more valuable materials, from level 1 to level 5, are found deeper. As is often the case, to access the surface mining activity, you will need a tool. Here is the harvest tool, which is highlighted in the toolbar below. Pointing at harvestable elements on the surface and clicking on them, while the harvest tool is equipped, will allow you to collect them. Press the quick access key for this. Great. Unfortunately, there are no surface. To begin mining deep underground, you will need a way to scan
That's
for
cool.
available materials in a large radius. This is the job of the scanner tool, highlighted here. Once in close range, the directional detector will help you pinpoint the location of the material.
Okay.
Finally, to collect the found material, or simply to dig your way down, you will use the mining tool, highlighted just below. You'll learn more about this in the interactive mining tutorial, located inside the Mining Institute. Now, let's talk about the markets. Get close to the way. Markets are an essential part of Novian life. This is where you can sell the materials you mine, but also buy anything that you might need. Markets are physically located in the world. They are accessible either via market pod units, like the one in front of you, or via the integrated nanomarket interface. The nanomarket interface allows you to browse markets at a distance, but cannot help you to deposit or recover items that are traded. For that, you will need to directly interact with the market pod. Very quickly, let's have a look at what the nanomarket interface looks like. You can search for a particular item that you would like to trade by using these search boxes. Neutron is a fuel you will often use and frequently buy. Type neutron in the search box. You can see the market orders for neutron. These are all the intentions to buy or sell neutron by other players on various markets in the solar system. You can pick the cheapest or the nearest offer, depending on your priorities. You can also create your own buy or sell orders, or let the system pick the best offer for you. We will look into this at the end of this tutorial, when we will buy neutron for your speeder vehicle.
Okay.
For now, let's close the Okay, let's now have a look at another important activity, industry. In front of you is an assembly line, one of the many industry unit elements in the game, which includes things like chemical reactors, glass furnaces, refineries, or smelters. Each industry unit type is specialized for certain types of recipes. The assembly line can take ingredients in an entry container, like the one here on the left, and then run a recipe to craft elements. The elements are stored in the exit container, as seen here on the right, that can be chained as an entry container for another industry unit. To select the recipe, there is an industry unit interface that you will learn about in the dedicated industry tutorial, inside the Industry Institute. Thankfully, excellent. Now, let's open the nanocrafter by pressing the nanocrafter key. Great. This interface allows you to pick a recipe and run it in the background to produce simple products. On the left is a selection area to pick a recipe.
Alright.
You currently have just a few ingredients, which allow a limited set of recipes to be excellent. Now, let's click on Neutron Fuel to select the panel that appeared shows you the Fantastic. As you can see, your job is now in the queue and you will have a batch of Neutron ready in a few seconds.
100 liters in about an hour.
That will be all for this short introduction. There is of course more to know, and you can go to the Industry Institute to go through the specialized tutorials. For now, let's close this window. Okay, now let's learn about building, and how you can use all these materials, and this bizarre construction in front of you is called a construct. It is a mix of deployed voxel materials used to sculpt the shape, and deployed elements to make it functional.
That's your gas
The
tank,
first element
essentially.
you deploy to create a construct is a core unit,
engine,
as highlighted here.
I think.
It will create a building zone,
Power
within
engine.
which you will be allowed to build. Core
Power
units
engine.
come in
One
different
of these is a
sizes, and
space
also
engine.
specializations.
I think it's not.
Static core units are for ground buildings, dynamic core units are for ships or anything that
Hey,
moves, and
Neutron
space
is
core
done.
unit are for space stations. Once you have created your building zone, you can start to deploy matter, as voxel honeycomb materials, or voxels for short. You have a large palette of tools and materials to help you sculpt absolutely anything you like, regardless of shape or complexity. Finally, you can add elements to your construct, in the form of engines, doors, lights, fuel tanks, or any of the hundreds of available elements that provide functionality to your builds. Building is a vast subject. It is advised to go through the various building tutorials located inside the Building Institute. Note that the building you are currently in, as well as all the other buildings outside, are entirely made with the in-game building tools. Also, some of the cool constructs you can build not
Yeah.
only include static buildings, but
Planes
this
and
is a
ships
surface
on
speeder,
land.
a very basic ground atmospheric vehicle that is both convenient and cheap to build, and allows you to move
Huh.
around planet surfaces.
It's different from the
You'll be given
Alpha
one at
one.
the end of this
Alpha
tutorial.
one was just like a speeder bike.
Everything in this speeder is functional and plays a role in making it work. Let's quickly review the different elements that it's composed of.
Engines.
Here are the hover engines, which help the speeder float above the ground. These extra small atmospheric engines are used for propulsion and moving forward.
What's this thingy?
They require fuel, taken from this atmospheric fuel tank. Adjusters are small elements used to create rotational forces and help balance your ship. You also need brakes to be able to slow down. And finally, you need a piloting seat to be able to fly it. Activating this piloting seat activates the ship, which is how you take control of it. All these elements are orchestrated via a Lua script that is generated automatically for you. But you can also modify it via a right-click menu on the piloting seat to create absolutely any kind of control you like.
Huh, that's cool.
Note that piloting in the atmosphere of a planet or in outer space can be very different, and involves different types of engines and design. Gravity may ground you if you have a heavy cargo on a high-gravity planet, while it won't matter in the darkness of space.
I can't wait till there's
piloting is an art,
war going on.
Interplay between your piloting skills and the craftsmanship of the ship designer. You can learn more about piloting in the dedicated tutorials in the Piloting Institute. Piloting is not only about navigating your ship, but will often also involve combat. Look up at the fighter above your head.
Fighter?
I've highlighted the weapons that are equipped on this small
Yeah,
ship.
that's new.
There are many more types of weapons,
There was no
ammunition, and
fighter,
damage types.
or there was no combat
This is a
last time I
specific
played.
one.
Just
This
building.
is a small fighter, but you can also build giant battleships with a crew of
Oh,
hundreds
that's
of
gonna
people,
be so
each
much
assigned
fun.
to a
I am
particular
part of the
task.
Armco crew. If you
There
guys
is
want to
much
join,
more to
go to
discover
their
about
link. I'll
combat,
put one in the
so you should
description.
definitely visit the Military Institute to know more. Now, let's go to the last station and learn about organizations. Follow the waypoint.
Waypoint. Where is the waypoint? Waypoint. There it is.
Organizations are a fundamental part of your social life as a Novian. They are groups that you can join, covering things like nations, corporations, alliances, or even group of pirates. Let's have a quick look at the As you can expect, you can search through this list, focusing on open organizations, which are recruiting, or sorting by member numbers, name, or language.
Or is it
To
the
apply for an
R?
organization, you need to open its details page. Click on the name of any of the listed organizations to open its details page. In this
Manifesto.
window, you can see a summary of relevant information regarding this
I don't
organization.
really see the manifesto. Let's see.
This area will allow you to apply to join this organization, along with a place to write a quick introduction to go along with it. Joining an organization can be a considerable boost for your new life as a Novian. Choose wisely. You can, of course, also decide to create your organization from scratch, even if this is a little bit more advanced. For example, managing an organization involves legates and members, rules, voting, and management of rights. This is something you will discover later.
Cool.
You can now close the organization interface.
Too fast for this
Excellent.
stuff.
You have covered the basics. Now, let's move to the next step and talk about talents. Follow the waypoint.
Such a long move.
To start with, let's open the talent window by pressing the talent key.
2. There you go.
Talents define your character
Inventory,
abilities.
pilot.
They are grouped into categories that are displayed all around your avatar in this window. Here, for example, excellent. Now, finally, select the nano pack-up, very good. Talents can be upgraded from level 1 up to level 5 by spending talent points in increasing quantities. Each level acquired provides a boost to a certain characteristic, described just below its name. For example, here the nanopack upgrades helps to increase the size of the inventory by 200 liters for each talent level acquired. The amount of talent points you currently have is displayed in the upper part of the screen. Talent points automatically accumulate, even when you are offline, at a slow rate, shown here. To consume points to instantly train a particular talent, you could simply use the Invest Points button I just highlighted, assuming you have enough points for the talent you are aiming for. Most of the time, you have very little accumulated points, because the rate of accumulation is slow. Instead, you can decide to do a talent, and enter an active learning phase, which considerably boosts the talent point acquisition rate. Let's train the first level of the nanopack upgrades talent. Press the Q talent button.
Where is this thing? How do I hide her? So F2 nanopack upgrade, press the
As you can see, the selected talent now displays in the queue. You can queue several talents to train one after the other. Note that dependencies between talents might exist, and you should train talents in the right order. See how the acquisition rate is much faster during active learning. When a talent is in a queue, acquired points are immediately assigned to the talent which is currently being trained. It is a good practice to always have several talents scheduled in the queue, to be able to train them without interruption. Note that talents also train when you are offline. So, make sure to always have a filled queue that spans a long duration. If the queue ends when you are not online, you will fall back to the slow talent point accumulation rate. Take your time to review the existing talents, and think. At this point, you might be the menu on the left gathers all the quick accesses to the available interfaces. And since your mouse is now free, you can simply click on them. Note that you can also select the tools in your toolbar, and generally interact with many more menus and options in this mode. One example is the notification icon in the lower right part of the screen, which you can now access. Now is also a good time to learn about the codex, which is you can browse the many topics in the selection menu here.
Introduction, gameplay,
Normally when you leave the free math mode, temporary windows are closed, but not the Windows codex. So it can be helpful to pin some help content on the side while you play the game. For now, we are going to close this window. As we are talking about help, let me mention hints. Hints will appear regularly on the right during the game. You can review them later. Okay. You can now click. Now, it's time to discover a really fun activity that is available to you right from the start.
Okay. Down the stairs. Where are the stairs? There are the stairs. Okay.
Welcome to the Surrogate VR stations. These stations can be used to enter a VR session to control a remote robot in telepresence. This is a fantastic way to discover locations and familiarize yourself with the game, perhaps even visit a large organization headquarters, or simply play tourist in extraordinary places. You first enter into a VR stations like this one by activating it. You can then select a destination site, among those that are public and are made accessible to you. You take control of a robot that awaits in a distant pod. Anyone can deploy a pod in their construct and make it public, so that visitors can arrive. As a robot, your capacities are limited however, so this is just a way to visit an area remotely, as opposed to teleporting there directly. These are fake stations, you cannot use them. But I will show you the real one on the way out, a bit later. One last thing, you may have noticed those buttons with a question mark on them. Great. Info buttons close themselves automatically, but
Cool.
you can also force them out with the cancel key. Another powerful way to discover things by yourself in dual universe. Good, let's continue. The next important thing to learn about is the notion of rights. Everything you own can be shared with others. You receive the action forbidden message, telling you that the
Yeah, I
owner of
kinda
this
figured
element
that.
did not share it with you. This is actually how you can make your construct secure against intruders. Now, in the same way, try to activate the left. Again, the right to activate has not. As you can see, this time it worked. You can control the light by pressing this button. To set up an element's rights in a simple way, you can use the right-click menu on an element. Here, you can access the Share Element, or Share Construct options, in the Construct submenu, which will allow you to grant
Oh yeah,
rights to
I am
others.
in Armitage Recovery.
You can now close this menu by a much more complex system is available for advanced players that allows for fine-tuned rights control, in particular for organizations. You can share whole constructs, manage specific types of rights, and create groups of players with certain abilities. But this is way beyond the scope of this introduction. You should try the
Get
rights
on with
management
it.
tutorial instead. Now, simply deactivate the force field on your right by pointing at it and pressing the interact. Very good. Now, let's continue our visit and go down to the lower level, using the elevator at the end of the room. On both sides of this corridor,
Build
you
a
will find resurrection
helpful
nodes.
humanity.
Drawing on the consequences of the Everett interpretation of quantum mechanics, we were able to design a technology which preserves your state of consciousness across multiple realities. We control the multiverse, in order to branch you onto a version of reality where you happen to respawn, here on one of these platforms, whenever you die. So, you cannot really die.
That's cool.
There is always a version of the universe in the multiverse where you wake up, here.
Good to
Beware
know.
that when you die, your inventory will not be preserved, so don't take death too lightly.
Also, good to know.
It's important to know that you can craft or buy your own resurrection
Oh.
nodes. You can then install them in your ship or in your home. When respawning, you will always appear at the nearest active resurrection node, so in general you don't have to always get back to this room. Alright, so we are now almost ready to exit the starting hub. The last step is about on both sides of this room are
Blueprint, speeder,
demonstration versions of two of the
speeder,
most popular
blueprint.
UEF hovercraft speeders. These ground vehicles are extremely efficient to quickly navigate the surface of a planet.
That was the
and you will
original
need
one.
during the first steps of your journey. Distances are real, and transportation is a necessity. One way to acquire these speeders is to get a blueprint. To run a blueprint, you can simply double-click
Freezing.
on it while it's in your inventory, to deploy it into the world. You will be guided by the ghost bounding box that will appear. We will do that later. Another requirement to be able to deploy a blueprint is that you possess all its necessary components. Now, don't deploy your blueprint right away. You may need to do that later on a sanctuary moon. But keep it in your inventory, it will soon come handy. Blueprints can also be created by you when you've built a construct and want to save a copy of it for yourself. You can of course also use it to mass produce your creations and to sell them. Blueprints are like intellectual property and can
I know.
That being said, this concludes the starting hub portion. Look around. Welcome to the outside world. In
Outside.
front of you is a large
Laggy.
parking area where many ships come and go, mostly to get
Oh,
to the
jeez.
nearby market.
There we go.
Let's actually go on the other side, where we will find the market and the institutes. Follow the waypoint ahead of you.
Oh, so laggy.
You can run by pressing the run modifier, but you can also sprint at great speed by hovering above the ground thanks to your jetpack. Simply double tap the forward key. Try it now.
Oh, laggy as balls. key. Okay. Oh, game froze. Yeah, beta. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we are. Right.
Very good. Now, let's walk to the other side of the parking lot.
Oh.
Great, we are now at the district's market. Let's actually use it to buy a bit more fuel for our speeder. Head towards the waypoint and activate a market pod.
Come on. Not touching the keyboard. Not touching the keyboard. Laggy.
This market pod interface is very similar to the nanomarket interface we have already seen. There are however some key differences, which we will get to shortly. For now, let's search for nitron fuel by typing nitron in the upper search box.
I already did.
Here again, you can see the different market orders for nitron fuel, with the current market's name appearing in orange. Since there are sell orders on this market for nitron, you will be able to go through the simplified instant buy option. Instant buy will pick the best offer on the market where you currently are, and is a very good method for beginners to easily buy something. Simply click on the local instant buy button to start. Now, enter a quantity here, like 10 liters. Keep an eye on the proposed price to compare it to the average regional prices and avoid potential price gouges. When you are ready, say, congratulations, on the left side is your current inventory. On the right side is the market container's contents. Here you can see the nitron you just purchased. Note that if you want to put a sell order on something, you can simply drag and drop it from your inventory to the market container. A quicker option is to use the local instant sell window, that will try to get you the best price on offer on the local market. Now, to receive your fuel, simply drag and drop the nitron from the market container to your inventory. Great. You are now an accomplished trader. When you are ready, you can close the market. Before we go to the Institute Plaza, let's have a look at the connected surrogate VR station, just behind you. Follow the indicated waypoint.
Oh, it's not as laggy.
I invite you to come back here at the end of this tutorial, and activate any of these surrogate VR stations. You will be presented with a list of incredible sites to visit, anywhere in Dual Universe, through a remote-controlled robot. You can sort them by the number of recent
I wonder if you
visitors
can
to
remote
see the
control a
most
robot
popular
while in
sites.
combat.
This is a great way to discover
Good
what is
experimentation.
possible in Dual Universe. Let's now go in the direction of the plaza, but follow the waypoint to the district teleporters first.
Oh, chopper.
In front of you are teleporters that grant you instant access to any of the 10 districts that are placed around the arch.
Lifeline.
Each of these districts is identical to the one you are currently in, but Novians will start the game in any one of them at random. You can use these teleporters to quickly reach for a particular market, or to meet with friends on another district.
Alright. Maybe I shouldn't have pressed anything. Loading. Wait, it was at 78%, now it's 55? To confine. Nothing in life is
Now,
to be feared.
let's follow the waypoint to one of the most important places of this district, the Institute Plaza, just at the top of the stairs.
I would, as soon as I can actually see it. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more. So if you're less Mercury, business assistant cast. Cool. Alright, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh, there we go. Oh, not quite yet. There we go. Okay. How glitchy. Okay. Alright, how do I get out of this room? I don't know how to get out of this room. Okay. So like a elevator to take me places. There it is. It finally rendered in. And up we go. We're still on Allioth.
In front of you is a map of the plaza, with the different institutes around.
Combat,
Institute for
piloting,
each core activity in the
mining.
game. Go and visit them after we are done. They are fantastic ways to
Mining,
discover the many
building,
possibilities that are offered to you.
science.
Also, each of them hosts teleporters to interactive tutorials
Cool.
for activities like mining,
Military
piloting,
Institute, Community
building,
Institute.
market operations, industry, etc.
Oh, that one's industry. Okay.
Note that this
No.
district is not unique.
Construction.
As we saw just before, there are 10 similar districts spread in close proximity to the ARC ship. We have visited the teleporters available between them and available near the market for convenience. Each Allioth district is also paired with a similar district on the Sanctuary
That
Twin Moon.
is really cool.
So, you will find plenty of opportunities to get back to the institutes and tutorials wherever you are. Finally, let's get to the last step of our introduction, the Twin Moon Shuttle service.
Ah, yes.
Follow the waypoint.
Ooh. Here's a go.
Now, make a left turn and follow the waypoint again.
Ah, the spaceport.
Here we
Sanctuary
go.
shuttle.
In front of you is a button that you will be able to use to call for a free Sanctuary Moon Shuttle service. This shuttle will connect you to a similar district on the Sanctuary Twin Moon. I will guide you to get there as soon as this introduction is over, and claim the tile for yourself, using the Sanctuary Territory unit you collected earlier. Let's take a look at the shuttle, which is on your right. At this stage, you may not want to deploy your speeder blueprint. If you do it here, on Allioth, you will have to dismantle it before you can pocket it and eventually redeploy it again on the
Oh, that's
Sanctuary
cool.
Twin Moon. To learn how to dismantle a speeder, you should go to the building tutorial in the Building Institute. You should rather keep your blueprint ready to deploy when you are on the Sanctuary Twin Moon, where you will undoubtedly need it to travel to a free tile before claiming it. Remember, to deploy your speeder blueprint, simply double-click on it in your inventory.
Alright.
Alright. That's it. You should now be prepared for the incredible adventure ahead of you. I will always be near you to help if you need. Remember to visit the tutorials, discover the beauty of the world with surrogate stations, and learn more about Dual Universe via the Codex and the Institutes. Just one more thing. I'll put some broad objectives for you in the upper left of the screen. These are suggestions of milestones to follow to properly build up your experience in Dual Universe, and they are very much recommended. Feel free to follow these at any time you feel ready, or to bypass them entirely. Check the objectives section of the map for more details on how to complete these objectives. From now on, I'll be much less directive with you on how to do things.
Arthur C. Clarke. Yep, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Oh, excuse me.
The first of these milestones is for you to reach the Sanctuary Twin Moon. You can use the shuttle service right next to you. Safe travel, Novian. I'll see you there.
It's a big ship. I bet players will be able to create something even larger and more complex. Giant ass battleship or something. Man, I can't wait to be on a freaking battleship manning the freaking turrets in a space battle. Just boom. That'll probably be later. There is no law except the law that there is no law.
Welcome on the Twin. Now, your next step is to try to locate a free tile on the map, get there and claim it. Try to find a tile not too far from a market, identified with the M icon. This will be useful later. To help you visualize the boundary of a tile in the 3D world, you can also press the Enhanced Visualization HUD key to toggle this display. Try it now.
How do I press it? Okay.
Excellent. You are now ready to go hunt for your free tile. It's probably also a good time for you to deploy your speeder now, so that you can travel faster. If you want to do so, go in your inventory and double-click on the speeder blueprint, then deploy it in the world.
There's a
Now,
lot.
to proceed further, I'll be waiting until you have deployed your Sanctuary Territory unit.
There's a shit ton of here. Let me just get out of the way a little bit.
Congratulations. You have successfully deployed your speeder blueprint.
Whoa, okay.
Now, the next step is to put fuel in the fuel tank. For this, simply open your inventory by pressing the inventory key. Great. Search the content of your inventory and look for the neutron fuel. Double-click on its icon to locate the fuel tank on the speeder. It's highlighted. Aim at it, and hold the left mouse button until you fill it entirely. Excellent. You're ready to go explore. If you want to start piloting it, target your speeder seat, and activate it by holding the interaction button to start piloting the speeder. I will leave you on your own now. Enjoy exploring Dual Universe.
Well, let's head off across the water, shall we? Whoop. See the map. So we are here, we cannot go there. Let's head off that way. Someone's base up on the left hand side. There's a building coming straight up. Right there, someone's territory. Woo! Just passing through, my friend. Just passing through. Treetops. Let's go that way. Yeah. I'm gonna find another lake, but it doesn't seem like there is a lake that hasn't been touched. Alright, we'll go here. Alright, 41 kilometers that way. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later. Give me 1 second. Seriously?